Good morning from another beautiful day in Jerusalem. Actually, even a little bit chilly now. It's September 2022, and although there's a lot of wind, wait a minute, soon you won't feel it. But we are at Jaffa Gate, and today we will go outside the walls from Jaffa Gate to the New Gate. It's like let's say 1 mile, a bit more than that, and then this is an interesting and different tour that you can take. Chilly. Then I'm looking for the shade. Here it is. This is Jaffa Gate. There's a gap between the walls here, mainly because the Kaiser of Germany at that time asked the Ottomans to open road for his carriage, and from that time, as you can see, we have too many cars in the whole city. Then please take care. In the Ottomans' time, you could see here a clock tower, but the British didn't like it, then they turned it down, and you can see the triangle marks. That used to be part of the roof of a building that the British didn't like as well. Then let me show you. We're in one of the entrances, the main entrance to the gate. As you can see, you cannot enter straight into the city because we are talking about enemies who are entering the city. And at the Ottomans' time, on the doors you can see the sign of the star and the moon, but the British didn't like it. New regime, new rules. A few days ago, I uploaded to the Instagram and my professional Facebook some stones that I took a picture of them to show you that there are different stones of the wall. Now there are two kinds of walls. The wall that we are going to do now is not the wall of the temple, it's the wall of the city, and it was built at the 16th century by the Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, the Ottoman Sultan. And look at the birds. Hello, pigeons. And when he built the wall, he used so many different kinds of stones. It's like a secondary use. And you can see stones that he found. It might be, it looks like a little bit like a Rhodium stone. And soon you will see a stone with the inscription of it, a few like that. But this time it will be of the 10th league, the Roman League, who actually conquered Jerusalem at 70 AD, destroyed the city together with Titus and Vespasianus. You can see the towers that he built from time to time to cover every part of the wall. Remember, if you are building a wall, we're usually building it against enemies. From time to time, the Israeli government are dealing with the stones, cleaning it, checking that every stone is on the spot. I'm looking. Here it is. I found the can. Here it is. Remember, in the Facebook, you can see the F and the X to the right of it. This is part of the Roman League who've been here and kept the city as a captive city. I mean, there were two leagues. Roman leagues, two army camps, or main army camps in Israel at that time. One of them was here in Jerusalem. The other one was at Armageddon. It's a real site and a beautiful site in Israel. If you want to visit it through my videos, then don't forget to subscribe my channel and look for Armageddon or Megiddo. If you won't find it, send me a message and I will send you the link for it. I mean, if you actually know this thing, we are climbing up. Soon you will see another gate, but we are heading to the northern part of the wall and the city, and the wall there wasn't so strong to defend, mainly because the other part is higher than the city, and that's where the Crusader entered to the city from the northern part. Look at the doggy and the woman, but this is the moat that Crusader built at the northern part of the wall. They did it because they knew that if they entered the city from there, then it's better to defend it. In their time, and actually before that, you could see here a big tower that protect that place. Today there's not a lot of evidence for it. This is part of the moat and the Crusader wall. You can see some rooms here. Then in a way we are walking between the two walls, that one and that one, and the moat. Today it's a beautiful garden. That part is the Christian quarter outside the walls of Jerusalem. Around 80-60 people started to go out of the wall. It was difficult to live inside the city, too dirty, too expensive. But the first one who did it were the Institute. And here, because that's the Christian quarter, this is the Institute of the Christians. For example, 170 years ago, that building, which is a hospice, was built. They celebrated it exactly like I think a week ago. Next to it, Notre Dame de Sion, which is today a wonderful hotel and excellent restaurant on the fourth floor of it. And because it was difficult to enter to the Christian quarter, which is just at the right side of the wall, they asked the Ottomans to open them another gate. And this is the newest gate. It's called the New Gate. It's from 1889. It's not from the 16th century. It's called Abdul Hamid II Gate because that was the Sultan who built it. Al Jadid Gate, which is the new gate in English, and in Hebrew, Hashar Achadash. You can see here that it's more difficult to defend those kind of walls. And we are at the northern part of the city already. We are leaving the west part of Jerusalem, which is the Jewish part, and entering to the Palestinian or to the Arab part in East Jerusalem. It's like two different kind of culture cities. And you can see the light rail that I used today. Hello, pigeons and raven. We are heading now to one of the most beautiful, no, actually the most beautiful gate of Jerusalem. And for so many years it was a very important gate. Now you can see that crazy man, then he's crazy, but he can survive. And I'm not talking about crazy like illness. I think it's he's full with hate, that craziness. Before I forget, Mount Scopus and Mount of Olives is in the background. Look how beautiful it is. Jerusalem Council, Jerusalem City built a beautiful park around the walls of the city. Then you can actually walk around it, at least in most of the parts of the walls. Some of it is owned by the Muslims as the cemetery, but you can actually walk through it. And look at the Greek Orthodox monk, it's beautiful. Someone told me that I'm using the word beautiful, too many times. And it's correct, but that's me. I'm trying to use different words, but I'm so in the video. I've been blessed that I can live in the Holy Land and visit Jerusalem and other places almost every day. Then we're heading to Damascus Gate. The way to Damascus started from there. And one of the comments that I got early morning is, can you show us the way of Damascus, the way that St. Paul used? At that time it's actually called Shaul. Then let me tell you what we did until now. We started from Jaffa Gate. We went to the New Gate, and now we're heading to Damascus Gate, and then to the Flower Gate. This is the Muslim quarter. Let's continue. Until 1967, that part was part of Jordan. Jordan occupied future Palestine and occupied the old city. The old city was supposed to be owned by United Nations, not by Israel and not by Palestine. And the word Palestine, soon you will understand that the word Palestine is another word of Israel. It's a punishment that Herod, Adrian gave to us because we were against, the Jews were against the Romans for the second time. First time the Romans destroyed the Jewish temple, that's 70 AD. The second time it was Bar Kokhba revolt, 132 AD, and that's where Adrian decided to changed the name of the city to Alia Capitolina by his family name, but as you can understand, only few of you knows that name. But he changed the name of Israel to Palestine, and lately it became to be a political statement. Who are the Palestinians? My mother, she died a year ago, but she was a Palestinian woman. She was born in Palestine, Israel. You can hear the bells of St. Salvador Church. Remember, that's the inner Christian quarter of the city. I mean, in the wall. Why I was talking about Adrian here, mainly because he built here Triumph arch. Before that, I mean, beneath it, you could find an Herodian tower, and now you can see the Ottoman gate of Damascus. It's like a city on top of a city on top of a city on top of a city. Jerusalem been destroyed so many times. I'm thinking about that man, and I feel pity for him. I'm so sorry if I said something bad, because I forgive him. Then this is already Eastern Jerusalem. You can see, you will be able to hear a lot of no thank you soldiers, mainly because it's quite a sensitive area, and this is the most beautiful gate of Damascus. In Hebrew, Shar Shem, in Arabic, and this is beautiful, Bab el Jadid. Bab el Amud, because somewhere here there was a column, and we believe that the statue of Hadrian was on top of it. And look at the lower part. And the lower part, if you see, the sun is in my eyes that I'm trying to show it. Ah, yeah, now we can see the gate. This is part of the Triumph Gate that Hadrian built himself, or they built it for him around 132, or not more than 135. Damascus Gate, a beautiful gate. We will continue through the new gate, but you can see here a beautiful street. It will lead you to the garden tomb. It's not a church, it's a compound. This is the second option of Jesus' tomb. Now I know that some of you will look at me and I got someone asked me, are you sure that there were two tombs of Jesus? Then the answer is I'm sure that originally there was only one tomb, but two options now. The main one, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which at the time of Jesus was outside the city. Remember, that wall is from 16th century, and Jesus' time was 16th century before. Then the city was different than the city of today. I'm trying to avoid the sun, but you can see that it's very difficult to defend that part of the city, the northern part. Then Church of England and some other Protestant. They will, at the 19th century, they looked for a different option, and they found one. They found a place that looked like a skull, Golgotha in Hebrew, a skull in English, Calvary. And today it's next to the Palestinian or East Jerusalem Central bus station. Before we will see it, You can see already part of the Calvary. I want you to look at. Oh, they open it! Wow, they open it! Sadakaya Cave. Wow! It's a beautiful place to visit. It's a quarry that was built. Some people believe that it's from King Solomon, some people believe that it's from King Herod, but most of the city, or a lot of the city, was built with it. It's such a beautiful place to visit. I'm not going in now for that. You can actually watch it in my video. And you can see the Calvary of the Garden Tomb. That's the name of the second option. And the green trees there is part of the Garden of Joseph of Arimathea, according to the Church of England. Some people are very annoyed that the central bus station is next to that holy site, but let me tell you something. The Romans used to crucify people outside the gate because that was the best place to visit. And if it's the best place to visit, it means that to build central bus station is excellent because so many people are walking through it. Then in that case, it actually makes it even stronger. The idea that that's the option or second option of the tomb of Jesus. Garden Tomb. You can actually visit my YouTube channel and look for it. There's a lot of information about that too. We're heading to the third gate of the city, but I'm trying to avoid the sun. We are heading now east. We are the northern part of the city, but we're heading to the east. Then the sun is in our eyes. It's 7 a.m. Yeah, 7 in the morning. Very early, 7:30. You can see the children are going to school. The next gate is called the Flower Gate, or Herod's Gate, or Bab el-Zahra. Let's start with the Arabic name. In that case, Bab el-Zahra, it's the name of the dead people walking, nighttime, spooky things. Now, I didn't talk about it, but I don't know if you saw the upper part of the Calvary was a cemetery, a Muslim cemetery. And there was a lot of rumors about what's happening at nighttime. No, until today there are rumors like that in every cemetery. And that is Bab el-Zahra neighborhood. And if you will change it to Bab el-Zahra, it means, and I'm sure that I'm destroying the names in Arabic, it's the Flowers Gate, and that is another common name, at least the Hebrew name for the gate. Look at the olive tree, and look at the, oh, sorry, I don't want to disturb you. Now I know why there are a lot of pigeons here. Olive tree with olive fruit on top of it. Then it's a beautiful place to visit. I do have a nice video that takes you from Bab el-Zahra, Flower Gate, Herod Gate, to the Lions Gate and St. Anne Church and Bethesda Pools. And King Herod's Gate, it's a wrong name to the idea that Herod Antipas Palace was there. Now the entrance wasn't from here. This is the new entrance. Originally, just like other gates, except of the new gate, the idea is not to enter straight in. Remember, the gates are supposed to avoid enemies. Then the original entrance of the new gate is from here. Let's continue a little bit. I want you to see the end of the wall, of the northern wall. And maybe later on I will continue the tour to the north, to the eastern wall, and then the southern wall, and back to Jaffa Gate. And you will have a lot of information of the 8 gates of Jerusalem. You saw today Jaffa Gate, the New Gate, Damascus Gate, and the Flower Gate. And you saw 4 of the 8. And that is school time. They are announcing something there. Go out. Oh, it reminds me what my school in elementary school we used to do some exercise. Well, I cannot even say that it was exercise. We just move our body a little bit to make it, I don't know, to give us a little bit more energy. And this is the school, and next to it is a beautiful museum that was built by the British. It's called the Rockefeller Museum, by the Rockefeller family from the States. Today it's part of the Israeli Museum. It's a beautiful place to visit. Sorry about the noise. And look how beautiful it is. There are a lot of inscriptions. Mostly are honoring Suleiman the Magnificent, and the one who now later on renovated it. Then in 27 minutes we actually make a round tour of let's see, almost half of the city. Then you can understand that it's not a big city. It's like 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, half a mile by half a mile. But there are so many things to see here, and this is the beauty of it. Look how beautiful is Rockefeller Museum. It's beautiful from the outside and from the inside. As you can see, if you will continue straight or turn right, you will reach Mount of Olives, and that soon will be the end of the tour. Did you subscribe my channel? Did you? Thank you very much. If you want to help me, if you want me to continue to do those beautiful videos, I hope it's beautiful, you can support me through Buy Me a Coffee, and support me by PayPal. The links are at the description of the video, and if you won't find it, you can always ask me and I will send you the link for it. This is the end of the walls of Jerusalem, the northern wall, and you can see already Mount of Olives and Mount Kapos. The Mormon University is there. Augusta Victoria is the big tower that you see on top of Mount of Olives. And yesterday I was visiting, 2 days ago as well, Mount of Olives. It's a beautiful tour, and even that tour is on my channel. Then feel free to watch it. I want you to see the corner of those two walls, of the northern wall and the eastern wall of the city. Oh, now it's clean and they turn it into a beautiful parking place, which I'm happy to hear. Then here it is. If I will continue, let's say another 5 minutes, I will reach the Lions Gate, but that will be in our, let's say, next video. Then it was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much. This is the second part of the wall, walking around or outside the walls of the old city of Jerusalem. Yesterday I walked from Jaffa Gate to here. You can see Rockefeller Museum. This is the northern eastern part of the wall, and this is the beginning of the eastern wall of the city. The other side is the Muslim quarter, and we will walk around it. I'm so sorry that I forgot my headsets. Then I hope that you will hear me, because there's a lot of traffic around it. In front of you, it's Mount of Olives. That is Mount Campus with Hebrew University. The Mormon University is right there, and Augusta Victoria is there. You will see more of Mount of Olives later on, but we are dealing with the wall of the city these days. Most of the wall that you will see here is from the Ottoman time. Look at that idea of sitting here and watching the view in this beautiful, not so quiet corner of the wall. It's not so high here, isn't it? Yeah, and you can see even the bedrock of the wall, foundation of it. A few years ago, it was difficult to walk here. It was a garbage area, and after a really long fight between the Waqf, the Muslims who keep the Muslim Institute here, and Jerusalem municipality, they reach an agreement that they will have a beautiful park here, and to the left of it, no one will touch the Muslim cemetery. They will renovate it, help it. They build a wall and a fence here. The most of the wall that you see here is from the Ottoman time, but just like the other video, the first one of Jaffa Gate, you can see that Suleiman the Magnificent at the 16th century built it on ancient walls and used stones that he found here, like, secondary use. For example, this is a typical King Herod stones, like that one, and there are so many like that, and you will see soon another part of the wall from the time of King Herod. Take some pictures of it. Beautiful olive tree with the olive fruit on top of it. They will harvest it soon. In that part of the wall, the eastern wall of the city, not of the temple, you will find two main gates, and we're gonna visit those two gates, the Lions Gates, and actually the second one is part of the temple, and that is the Golden Gate according to the Christians, and the Mercy Gate according to the Jews. We will talk about it when we reach there. It's quite hot today, hotter than yesterday. There were some excavations here when they built the park and they found another part of the wall of the city, and you will see it soon. Now it's so clean, it's so beautiful. No, clean. That's cleaner than what I remember it. Then here it is, for example. Those are Herodian stones for sure. Can it be that that was the wall of King Herod, the wall of the city? Can it be part of it? Yes, it can. And you can see that the lower part of it, he used stones from Herod time. It looks like a small arch leading, I don't know, maybe to a mikveh, maybe to sewage canal. One day I will do something that I'm not supposed to do, climb in to that part. We're getting closer to the Lion's Gate, but you will see here another part of the excavations. Everywhere, every place that you will excavate, you will find more and more and more and more of the wall. Then the Lion's Gate is one of the 8 gates of Jerusalem. That gate is open to the public. You can actually enter to here. It will lead you to the Via Dolorosa, to Haram el-Sharif, which is the Jewish temple, and now it's a Muslim site. That's where Muhammad ascended into heaven and met God himself. You can see why they call it the Lion's Gate. You can see the lions in both sides of the gate. I'm not sure that it's lions, it might be bodilas, but you know, everyone knows it as the Lion Gate. In 1967, the entrance to the city was from here. The IDF entered the city, and from that moment, Israel is back in that such amazing place, Jerusalem. It's very close to the tomb of Mary. That's one of the names, the Muslims' name of it, St. Mary Gate. St. Stephen Gate. Stephen is actually was stone here, not so far away from here. Another name for it. It will take you, if you will turn left, to Garden of Gethsemane, to Mount of Olives, and you will see it soon. Although I must say that the video is about the wall, and I took a video of the wall, and I did it in early morning because the sun is actually touching the wall. But you can see now the entrance to the Lion's Gate, and that's the way to Mount Zion. Mount Zion is in the background, but this is the Lion's Gate. A little bit noisy, then I will be quiet for a minute. And we're entering to another part of the cemetery, the Muslim cemetery. And soon you will see the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate has so many stories. Let's start with the Jewish story, because they were here before the Christians. The Mercy Gate is where the high priest used to go out once a year with a scapegoat at the Day of Atonement, which is in about a few weeks from now. Jesus will enter to the city through that gate when they will come back from the Ascension Church. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a top of a tower, and that is the site of the area of the Ascension. And as you know, he promised us to come back from the same site. Today is the birthday of Mary. It's September 8th. Sadly, the St. Anne is closed for people like me that wants to celebrate. Then we can actually talk a little bit about it here. The Golden Gate is where Joachim, the father or future father of Mary, and Anna, Hannah in Hebrew, the future mother of Mary, met when they've been told that they will have a child with the help of God. They tried to have children for so many years without any success. Down the valley, you can see Garden of Gethsemane. That is this is the last time that Jesus prayed, and Judas kissed him there and betrayed him. Above it, it's Mary Magdalene Church, a Russian church. You can see the golden onion. And to the right and up, and I hope that I can see it. I think I can see it because the sun is in my eyes, is Dominus Flavit, the Lord wept. Now the Kidron Valley, the valley between us and Mount of Olives, is the site of, let's say, non-clean site, no pure site. If Jerusalem is holy, let's say heaven, then Kidron Valley is more like hell. King David crossed it through the Mount of Olives when he ran away from his son Absalom, or when he ran away from King Saul as well. The white area in the background at Mount of Olives is the place that it's a Jewish cemetery. From the time of King David until now, they believed, the Jews believed that when the Messiah will come, and he's not Jesus according to the Jews, there will be the first one who will resurrect. And Mount of Olives, it's actually a resurrection place for Christians. Jesus will come here and will enter to the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate, the base of it is from the Byzantine time. Remember, that place been destroyed so many times, and that used to be part of the wall of the temple that King Herod built. King Herod built a big plaza because he wanted to build a major, massive, big, huge actually, Jewish temple. Then that's the Golden Gate, the Mercy Gate, whatever you want it to be called. Today it's a mosque, part of Al-Aqsa Mosque, Haram al-Sharif, and although you can travel around the plaza, you cannot enter to the inner part of the Mercy Gate. Look how beautiful is Mount of Olives. And I don't want to talk about that. Every funeral here is a sad thing. And look at the kitty. The kitty saw a bird or something like that. He was ready to catch it, but then I kept him. Soon I will show you the part of King Herod wall, and 3 letters of the name of God in Hebrew. You know that the Jews cannot pronounce the name of God. Some of the Christians call it Jehovah, mainly because from even the time of Jesus, the Jews didn't know how to pronounce it. There are few options to pronounce the name of God. Then instead of making a mistake, the Jews are using different names to God, like God, Adonai, Elohim, and so many other names. It's not a big, it's not a long wall. It's like 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It's, I'm doing it, I'm almost ended that tour, and it's only 15 minutes. And let me stand here, and I will show you those 3 letters, 3 of the 4 one. That's the first one. That is Yud, yeah. And that is Hey, Ho, Vav. And the 4 letter is missing here. Then Ye, Ho, Va. 3 letters of God in front of you. I'm doing it because last time when I did it, I didn't point it. Yud, Hey, Vav. Yud, Hey, it's those 2 already. Name of God when the Jews are using it. I mean, they're using it. For example, Zachariah, Tzedakah, Herzli, Netan, you got it. You got it. I know that you got it. Then the first 2 letters, the Jews are using it as a shortcut of the name of God. What a beautiful day. It's September. It's not as hot as August, but it's not cold. Someone building here a new tomb, what looks like that. Now, one of the questions that I've been asked, why, for God's sake, the Israeli government gave back the Temple Mount to the hands of the Muslims. I mean, this is the site of the Jewish temple, but this is the Israeli law. A church belongs to the Christians. You can ask the same question: why we didn't take the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and destroy it? I mean, the Israelis. A mosque belongs to the Muslims. A synagogue belongs to the Jews. It's just like an embassy. Then when we came back to the Temple Mount, we gave it back to the Muslims. And the one who actually hold it, the one who is taking care of it, are the Jordanians that occupied Jerusalem in 1948. Jerusalem, the old city, was supposed to be owned by United Nations. Then in that case, what you see here is from the time of King Herod. Part of the wall of the city. The upper part is from different time. And I was mentioning the Jordanians because the wall almost collapsed in that area, but the Israelis can actually say, please take care of it. But the result of it is such an ugly wall that the Jordanians built here. Look how beautiful is the Jerusalem cross, Jerusalem wall, and Look how ugly is that part. Maybe they couldn't do anything else, but maybe they didn't try to do something else, because the idea of, in a way, of some of the Muslims is to delete the idea that it used to be a Jewish temple. But the stones here of King Herod actually shows you a lot. Now that corner, the corner of the east and south wall of the temple, is very important for the Christians. No? Some of you didn't know about it. You didn't know that it's very important for you. According to the Bible, the devil tried Jesus after he'd been baptized twice in Jericho, month of temptation, and one here. He told him in that corner, jump. If you believe in God, he will catch you. And he answered, don't try God. Trust God, but don't try him. It took us only 20 minutes to finish that eastern wall of the city. And let me show you the southern wall of the city. Yay! But before that, let us cross the difficult road to the other side to show you the beauty of the Jewish cemetery and Mount of Olives. And you can see here tombs from first century, the time of King Herod. Might be Zechariah and the family of Hazir. And that used to be a cemetery that had been destroyed by the Jordanians in 1948. They use it for, their house, stones for the house, stones for the road. Then in 1967, what we could bring back to here, we did. The rest, as you can see, we didn't. But if you want to see tombs from the time of King David, then look at the cliff and you can see the wall, the holes in the wall, and even that, where's my finger? That building as well. Now we're talking about tombs at the time of King David, 3,000 years ago. Why here? Because the Jews cannot bury their dead inside the city. Then let's go back to the southern wall. We already know that Jesus was tried by the devil there. He told him to jump, but he didn't. He said, don't try God. There's so many things to see here, and there are two different kinds of walls. The wall of the Jewish temple that was built originally by King Herod, and the wall of the city. Now, we are dealing now with the wall of the temple. You can see the main entrance to the temple, the 3 block arches. Can you see it? Yes, now we can see it. Then, if we're talking about Jews, then 3 times a year, every Jew had to enter the city. And this is by God order. Those are the 3 Jewish festivals. Soon I will cross to the other side, and I hope that you can hear me now because I forgot my headsets in my house, and I cannot stop talking, and I hope that you will be able to hear me, and the background of the cars won't be so difficult. It won't disturb you. City of David. King David built his city here. And it's not the best place ever, and this is a sign to say that everything here used to be a Jewish cemetery, been destroyed in 1948 by the Jordanians. You can see here few tombs that we found. We don't know who is buried there. Then what you can see on top of it is the Star of David, Magen David. But let me show you. City of David, and I want you to understand that what you're looking at is green, quite green. And I visited that city yesterday with an amazing woman from Wales. Look how beautiful it is. It's green because the only spring of Jerusalem is there. Then the story of King David, the story of the Jews later on, King Solomon, story of Hezekiah with his beautiful tunnel. He's here. You can see the Assyrian enemy is outside now trying to survive because they have no water. King Hezekiah, make it disappear. The water entered to the city, but not outside the city, and that's why they survive. Jesus cured the blind man at the Siloam pool, which is at the end of it. There's so many things to see there. Evidence from 3,800 years ago, evidence of the Jebusite who've been here. And remember, King David occupied it from them and turned Jerusalem into the capital of Israel. And this is the most important thing. People still ask me, here's the capital of Israel. From the day of King David, until today, the capital is Jerusalem. Then you can see part of the southern wall. This part is of the temple. And on top of it, you can see now Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is a Muslim site. Al-Aqsa is the last mosque, the faraway mosque, according to the oral books, the outside books of the Muslims, because Jerusalem is not mentioned in the Bible, in the Quran, in their Bible, in their holy book. According to the Hadith, Muhammad had a night journey to here, to Al-Aqsa. He went to the foundation stone, which is the dome of the rock of today, and ascended into heaven. The foundation stone was the site of the Jewish temple. What you can see here is so many things, but I will talk about the wall of the city from the time of King Solomon. King Solomon, 3,000 years ago. It looks like that. The Bible call it the Ophel. Ophel, it's like to climb up, and you can see if you look at the three arches. Where are the three arches? Here it is. You can see even stairs next to it. Then I believe that so many Jews entered to there 3 times a year. One of them was Jesus himself. Jesus never visited the city in Easter time or in Pentecost time. He came for Passover time, Pesach. He came for Shavuot, and that's why the disciples stayed in the city for the next 50 days after Passover, which now for the Christians is Easter. Then there are so many mikvahs, Jewish ritual bath, because every Jew, before he entered to the temple, he had to purify his body. And one of the biggest mikvahs is the Siloam pool, the south part of the city of David, and that's where Jesus cured the blind man. Now you know why he was there, just before Passover. It's a beautiful, 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 beautiful place to visit. But that is already part of the about the Ottoman's wall, 16th century. It leads us to two gates. And this is the most difficult part of the tour for me, because I have to climb and climb and climb and climb until there. And if you hear me, yes, like that, it's okay, I will survive. Then 16th century wall, but you can see that the foundation of it is older. Those are Herodian stones. Oh, those were still, but from the city of Herod, from the Second Temple time. More olive trees in front of you. And that's the entrance to City of David, which is a great place to visit. In City of David, you can actually see something that in most of the city there's so many question marks. You will find so many archaeological finds with names of figures and important people that were mentioned in the Jewish Bible. Then in that case, this is different than so many other places. You can actually walk with the Bible and see everything. It's such an amazing tour. I didn't mention it before, but did you subscribe my channel? I think it's worth it. I have more than 20,000 videos. Some of them are very unique. Southern wall of the city. Soon we will reach the dung gate, the garbage gate. And I'm not sweating at all today, just a little bit. Look at that car. And you might ask me why that car's got so many strange windows. Because that car, as I believe, entered to the West Bank, to the part that is a little bit dangerous, mainly because Palestinians try to burn down or to destroy the people who live there, usually a Jewish settlement. You can see the color. Then, by that, they are keeping people safe. And I hope that one day we will find a solution. The dung gate, the garbage gate. Yeah, strange name, isn't it? But it's got a very important meaning for it. Think about you. If you are living in the skyscrapers, then are you taking your garbage up or down? Down. This is one of the lowest gates. Then everything was taken from here outside, and they threw it here in the valley. And I want to show you something. But we have to cross the road. Look how beautiful it is. That used to be a parking lot, and they decided to excavate it together with City of David. And you can see that we find here so many things. Last thing that we found was an ivory. Ivory items used to be owned by rich people, and that ivory is from the first or second temple time. Then here it is, a Givati parking lot, and they're still excavating here. They're still excavating here, and every time they find new finds. It's such an important place to visit. City of David, city of the kings of David family. Then this is the garbage gate. No, all right, I'm sweating. The idea was to go to the Nativity of Mary Day to celebrate, but there is a mass in French, and they know me. They asked me not to take a video there, and of course I agreed to do that. Then for the Catholic and the Greek Orthodox of us, happy birthday, Mary! Mary is the one that usually, when the Catholic and Greek Orthodox remember someone, they're celebrating her death. But here, they're celebrating her death and her birthday. Then beautiful, beautiful city. I don't know if you can hear a little bit of drums, but it's Thursday. Thursday, it's a bar mitzvah day. The guys, the children, are, when they reach 13 years old, they are becoming a man the minute they will read the Bible in front of everyone. And they're waiting here for the beginning of the celebration. I wonder where's the bar mitzvah child. Usually is the one that feels horrible because everything is around him. Everyone are wearing white. There's a small entrance, a small gate next to it. It might be the Tanner gate. And let me show it to you. Let me just enter for like a few minutes into the city. All right, I can hear that they are now, or maybe starting the celebration. Then we will celebrate with them a little bit. Yes, you can hear that they are starting. It's a day of happiness. And who told you that the Western Wall is a Wailing Wall? And that is part of the corridor, straight from 6th century. You can see the ancient stones here, and let me show you, it's a tour of the walls, and let me show you a little bit of it. Because the wall of the temple is part of it. Remember, we saw the southern wall, that part of it is the wall of the temple that King Herod built, part of it is the wall of the city, and from here you will understand it better. Then that is the corner of the southern and western wall of the temple that King Herod built. The western wall plaza, the Wailing Wall is there, but the Wailing Wall is not a Wailing Wall, it's a happy wall. Remember, we saw Al-Aqsa from there, and the wall of the city is around it. And let's go back through the small gate, the Tanner's gate, to listen a little bit to the Bar Mitzvah ceremony. They cannot enter to the western wall with the instrument, but here they can celebrate. You can see that the mitzvah guy is in the center of the chuppah. Torah scroll. He's holding the Torah scroll. Another Bar Mitzvah ceremony. Although I wanted to stay with them because this is happiness and it's in the shade, we will continue through our tour of the walls. You can see some buildings outside the walls. A lot of them are actually tombs. Remember, you can bury people outside the walls. And another Bar Mitzvah ceremony is on the way. I will start to climb up, but I don't want to disturb that group of Bar Mitzvah celebration that I will make around it. Blue and white is the color of the Israeli flag, the color of the talit, which is the shroud that the Jews are covering themselves when they are praying. We're still at the northern wall, so the southern wall of the temple, and those are tombs. And here you can see part of the wall from the Roman time. it is. See? No, if it's 11 and 12 and 13, oh, century, we are talking about Crusader and later on Muslim. Middle Ages, they say already. Neither way, Crusader. Now, there's so many things to see here. We are reaching soon to Mount Zion. In Mount Zion, you can visit the room of the Last Supper. You can visit the tomb of King David. You can visit the tomb of Oskar Schindler from Schindler List. High Priest House, according to the Armenians, and so many other options. Huh? It's so strange, I'm not breathing. Usually I couldn't do that without stopping. Looks like burial sites. Or a mikveh here, a Jewish ritual bath. Sadly they close it, and I don't want to be the one who will be against the law. Although I'm not so innocent. There is an open gate here. Then I'm doing it legally. Then let's see what we can see here. Not a lot. But let's see if we can see something else here. I must tell you that I'm guiding a lot that area, but I never enter. I never walked. No, it's not that I never walked. I walked. But it was in between that and that. I didn't visit that place like I'm visiting now. And did you subscribe my channel? Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Two years ago, there was someone that say, please make a video of all the walls around the city, and I will give you 20 shekels for that. $5. What can I tell you? If you want to support me, you can, but don't tell me that you are doing it and then you will support me. If you want to support me, you can do that via buy me a coffee or PayPal. It's in the inscription. You will find the link there. If not, you can ask me and I will send it to you, but it doesn't sound nice. I will give you 20 shekels. 20 shekels, $5? It's what can I tell you? I didn't like it. High Priest House, Mount Zion, according to the Catholic. Then if it is the house of Caiaphas, then Jesus was there, and St. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. And you see that I will climb a little bit more to reach Mount Zion, but you can see how beautiful is now the Jewish quarter. And the Dome of the Rock is in front of you. Mount of Olives. Oops, sorry. It's there too, together with the Ascension. And in a good day, you could see the mountains of Jordan and the valley of Judean Valley. But it's a little bit hot and hazy. Yes, I want to go in through the sidewalk, mainly because we can reach to Zion Gate from 2nd or 6th century, and they are excavating it. We will enter, you will see the Zion Gate from the 16th century, but I want you to see the ancient one. Zion. It's a name of a site in Jerusalem, but it became to be the name of Jerusalem as well. The movement of the Zionists is from that name. Zionists are people who say that in the 19th century, enough is enough. The Jews are suffering. We must do something to help them, and help them by going back to their homeland. Then let me show you what we are doing today. I don't know if I split the tour into a few different videos, but until now, 50 minutes. I started from here. This is the northern wall of the city, and the eastern one. We did that. We saw the Lion's Gate, we saw the Mercy Gate or the Golden Gate, and then this is the part of the southern wall, part of it of the temple. And then you saw the Dung Gate with the Bar Mitzvah ceremonies, and the small one is the Tanis Gate, and we are here heading to Zion Gate. And then what I'm planning to do is to go all the way to till Jaffa Gate, because yesterday I took a video from Jaffa Gate until here through the northern part of the wall. Then let's climb up. And we can make a short tour. Should I sit? No, 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 no. I will try to reach Zion Gate, the ancient one. And then I will rest at the new side, Zion Gate, from the Ottoman time, because there's a place to sit and drink. North Carolina. Then there's a villa from Second Temple time that been destroyed just like the city at 70 AD. And we find here Byzantine Islamic buildings as well. And part of Zion Gate that was here somewhere. What you see today is, remember, is the Ottoman part. The last part of climbing, my friend. It's only the end of my Via Dolorosa of the day. Sweating and hot. You can see that this is an ancient wall. Can be from the time of King Herod, and the new wall from the 16th century. Towers in between to control the city and control every part of it, mainly because the wall is against the enemies. Yeah, you can hear me breathing. And now I'm very close to Zahi Gate. I'm gonna rest there a little bit. But we already part of the, it's still the southern wall, south. South wall of the city. Here you can see beautifully the tower. 20 seconds for resting point. What that suitcase includes? Is it money? It's like rings? Or just, you know, food? Now this is Mount Zion. I will talk about that, let's see, 2 minutes after I will feel a live person again. Then let me sit there and rest. Not here, it's too much sun here. You can see Zahi Gate here, but we will talk about it soon. All right, I'm alive again, and you can see Zahi Gate. Zahi Gate was one of the 8 gates of Jerusalem, but at the time of from 1984 until 1967, that part that I'm standing on was part of Israel. The other part was part of the Jordanians that occupied the old city, and actually most of the Palestinian territories. Then Palestine as a country never exists, and it was occupied by the Jordanians, not by the Israelis. But because it was a border between Israel and Jordan, and you can see the bullet holes around it. And as a little child, what my father used to tell me, I don't remember it, I was around 4 years old, he said, Zahi, Isaac, Jerusalem is here. The old city is here. For me, as a 4 years old child, Jerusalem was a wall. And then he said, one day I will take you to the western wall, to the Kotel, Wailing Wall. And, you know, as a 4 years old child, I'm not sure that I was very, I don't know, all right, he said that, then so what? And a year later, in 1967, when I was 5 years old, now you know how young I am, he took me to the western wall because we came back to the city, the Israelis, and he was crying there because he promised me something that he was sure that he won't fulfill. And I was crying there because he didn't buy me a wooden camel that I saw on the way. And at that moment, the western wall was a wailing wall. But most of the time, just like you saw the Bar Mitzvah ceremonies, the western wall is a very happy wall. The Jews are call it the Kotel, which is another word to the wall. Let's just enter it to show how it looks like. Usually, when you're entering a gate, you cannot enter straight, because the idea is to make the enemy more difficult to enter. Now it's a road here, then I actually must take care that there's no car. Oh wow, it's so cool and nice here. A little bit of shade and it's a totally different story. Then when we enter to here, you can see mostly the Armenian quarter, which is the other side of the wall here. We have 4 neighbors. Armenian is here, we have the Jewish, the Christian, and the Muslim one. Now, 2 signs, a little bit of politics. Look at that sign. It's in English, Arabic, and Hebrew. Zahi Shaked. Who did it? Who put it here? The answer is usually look at the upper part of the sign and look at the first language. The first language was in English. It means that someone who spoke English controlled that city. We are talking about the British. And if we'll go to that sign, and actually you can talk about those signs as well. First language here is in Hebrew, and then Arabic, because that is together with the Hebrew the 2 languages that Israel accepts as the language of Israel. And the third one is for the tourists, Zahi Shaked, but that's the lower one. You can see it here again here. Remember, Zain in English, Arabic, and Hebrew. Here it's Hebrew, Arabic, and English. Then let's go out. And let's continue with the wall. Then let me show you the map and let me tell you what I'm doing now. Oh, where we are. Then we are now at Zahi Gate. We will continue to Jaffa Gate and to Tower of David, which is a fortress of King Herod. And there's something here which is supposed to be very important. It's alternative something. And we will enter towards Jaffa Gate because yesterday I started from Jaffa Gate till here. Today we started it from here, and altogether it's 1 hour. Yesterday it took me 30 minutes. It's gonna take me around 2 hours to make a round tour around the city. It shows you that it's not a big city. To the left, it's part of Mount Zion Institute. Mount Zion was a one big church in the 4th century. Today, it's a convent, Armenian convent, and a cemetery. I visited a few times. Beautiful place. The building to the left that they're building is the high priest, according to the Armenians, and it's such a beautiful place to visit. We will do that next time. I think I do have a video of it, but I'm not sure. I think it was many years before they started to take videos. Ah, I'm walking in the shade. Another tower to protect the blind spots, to be sure that the enemy is not hiding here. This is part of the project that at nighttime you can actually visit a lot of the city, and it will be lit with beautiful colors. In 1948, the Israelis tried to enter here and to occupy the city from the Jordanians without a success. They decided to take their stones out and enter through there. As you can understand, it didn't help a lot. that in the 4th century it used to be one big church, and now there's many institutes, Armenian, Greek Orthodox, Muslims, Jewish, mostly churches, cemeteries. Behind it, it's a cemetery. And if you want to see what's in it, the only thing that you need to do is to climb up to the ramparts tour, and I do have a ramparts tour, a video of it, then you will be able to see it as well. Shlomo Meir Cohen been murdered here many years ago by a fanatic Muslim guy while he was walking here, but the situation is much better. I know that you hear a lot about, the conflict between the Israelis and Palestinians, but the one who already been with me in the groups or in the videos that I'm taking, you saw that most of the Israelis and most of the Palestinians are actually, they know that we cannot live without each other. We need them, they need us, and they're good people. But in my side, and mostly in the other side, in the Israeli side and the Palestinian side, there are fanatic groups. We have the Hamas terror organization, the Jihad Islamic. It's like a terror organization all over ISIS, like ISIS. I hope that we will find a solution for that. And usually the names that you see here is of a families who donated money to create the park around the city. And we are at the corner of the western wall of the city, not of the temple, and the southern wall of the temple. The builders of Jerusalem Garden. Such a beautiful place. The smell of the pine. Oh, it's so beautiful. But we are reaching to a very important place. It's alternative place to the Via Dolorosa. You know that we have we are walking with Jesus. We are carrying the cross through the Via Dolorosa, which is a Catholic thing from the 14th century. But in history, there were different kinds of Via Dolorosa, and one of them will be here soon. Here, for example, we found a tower, foundation of a tower. That tower was built at the Crusader time, but when the Muslims in 1887 conquered the city from the Crusader, they decided to actually build a better wall. But at 1212, the Sultan, the government, the city hall, the nephew, right, now I know, the nephew of Salahuddin, the one who conquered it, it's like a few years later, decided to destroy that wall after he built it, mainly because he was afraid from the Crusaders. They might come back again. Then in that case, build it, destroy it. Story of Jerusalem. I know it's very complicated, but I didn't. That's not part of the alternative Via Dolorosa that I promised you to see, and we will actually start talking about it. I took a video of it, and I won't talk a lot about it, but I will just mention it. And if if someone feels bad because of it, then it's okay. It's okay. It's only a theory, but a good one. You can see that it looks like an entrance and a gate. Then let's enter to the place that the Bible, the book of John, calls it the Gavta. Is that a Gavta? I don't know, but you can see that there are stairs here. Then let's say that one of the gates is here. And another thing that you can see is some stairs that enter to the city. You can see that part of the ancient wall to the left, and this is the 16th century wall. Then we actually entered through here to the gate that was somewhere here. That's the outer gate, and the inner gate is here, and there's kind of a place right here that is higher. It looks like a stage, and we're gonna climb it. Is that the place that Pontius Pilate was judging Jesus? If you read the book of John, you will know that he was outside and in, outside and in. Am I standing now at the place that Jesus was standing, and Pontius Pilate was there washing his hands? Is that a place? One reason to believe that it might be the place is because behind it is the gardens of King Herod. His palace is a little bit to the left, and Jaffa Gate is the fortress that he built. So many people say, I mean, there's no reason that Pontius Pilate will leave his palace, because he lived here when he came to Jerusalem, and go all the way to the Antonia of today to judge Jesus. Instead of it, he will stay in his place. He will go out from the Gavta to the Gavta, and will judge people. True or not, I don't know, but some Christians already accept it. You can see how beautiful is the view here. This is the western part of the city, and the border between Jordan here and Israel until 1967. And there are so many neighborhoods around it. King David Hotel is right there in front of you. Last time that I walked here, someone decided to turn that place to his house, and he had a dog that guarded his place. Did you watch that video? Oh, that was funny. I can smell the herb. So many kind of herb here. It's like I feel like I'm in a salad. It was staying here. And now let me look that the dog is not here. But you can see different kinds of walls, different kind of stones, and the bedrock is here. All right. Hellenistic wall. It's right here. Above it, Herodian wall. Above it, Ayyubis, Ottoman's wall. Then you can see that it's like layers by layer, the Israeli period, Hellenistic, Roman, Byzantine, early Islamic period, Ayyubic, Muslim, Ottoman, Muslim. Is that a wall from the first temple time? Maybe. Looks like a Herodian style. Then behind it, it was the palace of King Herod. And usually it's wet here And let me see that I won't swim here, but I want you to see burial caves. And I don't know why it's wet there all the time. Then I'm trying to walk slowly. Those are caves from the first temple time. What you can see that there's like it's like a bed, and that's the area for the heads. The entrance that you will see here, burial site there. Sadly, it's closed, but we can actually understand the idea. What's that? And here is full with garbage. And if it's okay by you, I'm not going closer to there. But again, the Jews have been buried outside the wall. And let's go back to the main path. We saw a pillow from made of stone to the head. Look how beautiful the trees, the olive trees are. Guys, we are very close to the end of the tour. I did it! We made a run tour around the city at the Nativity of Virgin Mary, the Blessed Mother. This is David's Tower, which we already know that it's actually King Herod Tower, and he's pink. Then I took a video of it. To enter the city, you have to have permit. Not everyone can enter the city. For example, that car, I'm not sure that they can, or maybe they can, but we're gonna climb up. To here, you can see a minaret that we are renovating now. Minaret from the Ottomans' time. Because everyone who controlled the city used that fortress as their fortress. Why? Because it's the highest place of the city, and from there you can control every part of it. Lots of noise. Someone wrote me yesterday that he loved the city. He didn't like the noise of the cars. And you can see two walls. The first wall is the outer wall of the city. The inner one, you will see it soon, it's the wall from the time of the wall of the fortress. Now, Jaffa Gate used to be sealed. I mean, the wall continued on there, and the road here wasn't exist. It was part of the wall of the city. But when the Kaiser came in 1898, he told the Ottomans, "I'm not walking into the city. You, my dear, will destroy part of it. Build me a road, and I will be able to enter with a carriage into it." And from that moment, we do have cars in the city. At the Ottomans' time, just before the British came in 1917, you could see a tower above it. The British didn't like it. And there were so many houses outside the wall can be destroyed by the British because they said, and I accept it, the wall of the city is very important. Then, two kind of wall. Wall of the city, you see only the upper part of it, and the wall of the fortress that King Herod used. And there's so many soldiers here. Let me see if I will be able to take a video of them. And what are you doing here? Are they here to guide us, to God, to help us? No, it's Thursday. Thursday, it's the end of the week. It's the beginning of the weekend, the end of the week. Tomorrow, Friday, it's the end of the week. But on Thursday, they are visiting Israel. And then, at the end of the day, they are going back home. And it's a happy, happy day. And you can see that we have black people. Black Israelis. Of course we have black Israelis. Judaism is not, how should I say it without remembering Hitler, is not a race. It's a religion. In that case, to find black, and I'm not saying African Israelis. I'm making a video of all the walls of the city. And remember, we started the tour from here. I did it. And altogether it's 1 hour and 40 minutes to do it, mainly without stopping. But we did it. And you know what? Because I'm now heading back to Tel Aviv. I live in Tel Aviv. I'm taking the light rail home. Let's continue with the video until we will reach the northern part of the wall. But you can always say, if you saw the video yesterday, you can say bye. No, don't stay with me. I'm happy that I did it. I'm going home. I'm going home. It was such an amazing tour. Look how beautiful it is. Then I don't remember if I mentioned it. No. Yes, they're going home. Then for them it's a very happy day. Judaism is not a race. Judaism is a religion. Some of them are white, some of them are Asian, some of them are black. I'm not saying, I'm not politically correct, because I think that political correct is wrong. Unless we will say Irish Americans or something like that. Color, it's beautiful. Black, it's an amazing beautiful. White, it's a beautiful color as well. And every color is beautiful. It doesn't matter if you're a Jew, Muslims, Christian. It doesn't matter if you are tall or short. Just act like a nice human being. And that is more important than anything else. 20 minutes of kitsch. Yesterday I showed it to you, but then I will show it to you again. Remember the secondary use of Suleiman the Magnificent. And I'm looking, here it is. The 10th League actually captured Jerusalem. And this is a stone with the number 10. Then they used it and at the 1st century. And Suleiman the Magnificent said, all right, let's use it again at the 16th century. Mount Zion is not covered with a wall. Most of the time it used to be part of the city with the wall, but I don't know why Suleiman the Magnificent decided not to add it. There are tombs of 2 Ottoman guys inside Jaffa Gate. I do have a video of it, and because we don't know who are being buried there, we know that it's like 2 Ottoman men. The rumors say that because they forgot to build it, the wall around Mount Zion, they've been killed, or another rumor, which is better, say that the wall was so beautiful, and guess what? It is beautiful. Then Suleiman the Magnificent decided to kill them because he said, I don't want you to build another beautiful wall in any other place in the world. True or not, there are two tombs there. Oh, let me show you some pictures of the clock tower and the houses that were attached to the wall, and then we will say goodbye. We are reaching now the corner of the west and the north part of the wall. That area, you can see a moat from the Crusader time. There was a beautiful tower here, Tankard Tower, that you can see only a small part of it. And let me show you the pictures. We will be able to say goodbye. If you remember, just there, not so far away from there, you can find let me stop the water from running. Yes, we can see the New Gate, the border between Jordan and Israel, the houses that were attached the wall, British entering to Jaffa Gate, those buildings were attached the wall there, and the tower. Remember, we want to see the tower. That's a clock tower that the British didn't like. Right here. Then now, when you know everything, and we reach the northern part, then thank you very much for being with me. Yeah, I'm happy. We did it. I'm sweating. I'm stinky now, but I'm happy. Hallelujah for that. See you in my next video. Bye bye.